All About Writing with Ben and Sarah.
Welcome to All About Writing, the podcast that covers everything about the world of writing from the inside out. This is episode 23, part 2 of our series on our top 5. I'm Sarah, here with my co-host Ben, who is an award-winning, best-selling author and ghostwriter, editor, and publisher.
And I'm Ben, here with my co-host Sarah, who is an award-winning, best-selling author, screenwriter, editor, and TED Talk presenter. And today, I don't know when you're listening to this, but this episode is airing just a little bit after Christmas. We're going to have some fun ripping in on a very popular topic, dessert, because we've had a lot lately. And here's the twist. We're not going to talk about the top 5 desserts we love. We're going to talk about the top 5 desserts we hate. So, here we go. Getting on the hate for the dessert, because I don't know how much weight you've gained, Sarah, but I'm not quite as sleek and svelte as I usually am.
I don't think our wine is as we drink wine. But that doesn't count.
No,
Alcohol never counts.
Cool. Okay.
Um,
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with my least favorite dessert. Well, like my least favorite. Like I'm gonna end with worst, right?
Number 5 on your top 5 worst desserts.
Number 5 is eggnog.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a very different list, I think. Go ahead.
Because, well, I will admit this is why it's like my least favorite, because as I've like gotten older, it's grown on me. But for the first like 20 years of my life, when I was like allowed to drink alcoholic beverages, I thought it was disgusting. It looked like liquid eggs to me.
Yeah.
And I prefer my eggs cooked, which will become part of the topic with another dessert of mine. But I can't do it. I understand it's boozy and like you add spices and stuff, but it like looks like you're drinking like scrambled eggs that haven't been cooked. And it's right up there with like green ketchup. I just visually can't do it.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll give you some moral support here. My wife Emma also hates eggnog, so
see, this is why she's my favorite. So,
pod, yeah. So we don't drink a lot of eggnog here in the house at Christmas, but I'll tell you, me and the boys, including the one who's lactose intolerant, are like, "Yo, yeah, eggnog!" So every now and then, a carton will sneak into the house. Yeah.
I'm happy for you. Okay, fine. What's your least?
Right. So my number 5 top worst desserts is actually, I'm only doing this once, well, sort of once, is a category, okay? Because this is sort of an all-encompassing thing. Anything with raisins. I don't mind raisins to eat them on their own, right? But as soon as you put raisins into something, they become all squidgy and gross, and they just ruin what is otherwise a perfectly good cookie or a perfectly good cake. So raisins do not belong in desserts. They belong on their own in a nice little box where you can eat them as great, love them. But raisins cooked, ugh. And I will particularly point out an English delicacy called the Eccles cake. The Eccles cake, it's a little pie, about as big as your hand, and it's got nice sugary pastry, and inside is nothing but raisins. And you know what I used to call it as a kid? A fly cemetery. Because that's what it looks like. A whole bowl full of dead flies. And you want me to eat that? No thank you. So, I just gotta say, sometimes raisins...
I'm only laughing because my husband loves oatmeal raisin cookies so much. It's his favorite cookie. But I hate them, which means I never make them ever for him ever. We've been married 18 and a half years and he does not. I never make them. I'm like, I don't care. I love you so much and I'm never making them. They're disgusting.
I'm happy to hear that, because if you ever gave me cookies and you told me they were chocolate chips and they wound up being raisins, you and I would have some trust issues after that, because raisins, they just ruin everything. Okay, that's it. Anything with raisins. That's number 5 for me. What's
Okay,
your number 4?
my number 4 is I'm really excited about this one because I feel like this is nothing people know outside of like Wisconsin. Um,
Hmm.
is fluff.
You're right. You are right. Please describe fluff.
It's what it sounds like. It's a bowl of fluff.
Uh-huh.
And it can be cranberry or raspberry, cherry or orange or lime. Um, it's like Jello had an affair with Cool Whip, and the Cool Whip won, other than it took on the color and flavor of the Jello.
Ooh.
And then someone added fruit cocktail in the
Yeah.
middle of that.
Uh-huh.
And then you serve it in like gobs, like how you would imagine a lunch lady with like a giant spoon that goes boom, and it's a bowl of fluff,
Fluff. Huh.
fluff. And
Okay.
if you close your eyes and you eat it and you just just focus on nothing but the flavor, not the weird consistency of the fruit cocktail mixed with the weirdly chunky Cool Whip. Like if you just focus on the if you tell yourself I'm eating lime flavored flavor, just I'm eating lime. Like then you can do it.
It
But it
kind
doesn't
of
look good. And
it it kind of sounds like what people vomit after they've done Jello shots.
that's
That's
exactly what it looks like too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when it's
yeah.
freshly made. That's exactly what it looks like. Just
Okay.
it doesn't smell like vomit when you eat it. It just smells like whatever Jello married the Cool Whip.
Okay, well, fluff wasn't on my list, but I think it might have made the list now because that sounds awful.
Like you go to fancy like dinner theaters in Wisconsin and like on the menu it'll be like cranberry fluff. It's
They actually
like
call it
woo!
that's not like a a country word for it. Like the fancy
No,
restaurants will call it
no, it's
fluff.
like on the menu. It's called
Fluff.
fluff.
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Well, the winters are long in Wisconsin, so yeah. Okay. Fluff. All right. So that's your number
Do
4.
you know what my number 1 is gonna be after that? No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Okay, bringing it back. Bringing it back to desserts
Yeah,
here.
what's your 4? What's your
My
4? Bring
number
it.
4. Yeah, my number 4 maybe surprise people. It's butterscotch. I know a lot of people like butterscotch. Can't abide it. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. I think it goes all the way back to when I was a kid at summer camp, and they give you the little tin of pudding, with your lunch,
Yeah.
and there was chocolate or butterscotch. I liked the chocolate. The butterscotch was basically just not chocolate, you know. So
Yeah.
I didn't like it because it wasn't chocolate. And forgive me, I was 5. I only had a
Fair.
world view so wide, and I liked the chocolate, and this other thing was just not chocolate, and therefore it sucked, and I hated it. And I'd like to think that I'm a forgiving person, but I have not been able to shake that. It's been a while. It's been a few years since I was 5. But butterscotch, I'm working through it here with you, Sarah. I think yeah,
It's
there's a
this
little
is
bit of
therapy.
resentment.
Yeah.
There's a little
Yeah.
bit of resentment there with butterscotch
Uh,
because you're not chocolate, and so I am not going to like you. And so it may be that it actually tastes nice. I don't know, but I can't get
do
past it. So
do you
there's that.
guys do the chocolate butterscotch cookie thing up there?
Um,
Like, do you can you get chocolate chips, but instead of being chocolate chips, they're actually butterscotch chips?
yes, it does occasionally happen. I don't eat them because as
Oh,
soon as I
okay.
see the butterscotch, I am so out of there. I am not going for that.
I
So
was just checking in case like there was a different
yeah,
medium of butterscotch, hard
yeah, no,
candy.
no,
No?
and I think I've even had butterscotch chip cookies,
Mm-hmm.
and they are not chocolate chip cookies, and they did not
But
measure
they
up.
have to be with chocolate chips. It can't be just
Oh,
butterscotch chips. Has to be butterscotch chips with chocolate chips so that every bite has both.
well, that's cheating. I mean, that's kind of like a fluff cheesecake, you know. So, you might be okay with fluff if it was on cheesecake. I don't know, but
No, no,
yeah.
no.
So,
All right, fair.
yeah, no, but I think butterscotch is really more. It's a mental block for me. I just nope, it's not chocolate. I'm done with you. So that's my number four, butterscotch. What's your number three?
Butterscotch. All right. All right. I will move to my number three, which is actually a bit of a classic around the Christmas time, but I think it depends on where you live and how they're made. I will not eat fruitcake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love spice cake. I make spice cakes, which is
Mm-hmm.
essentially what a fruit cake is. It's like ginger and cloves and everything. If you were to make fruit cake without the fruit, it would be
Yeah.
fine. But
Yeah.
it's the like neon green, like pieces of whatever.
Yeah.
Like they sell the buckets that you can put into the fruit cake.
Yeah.
And like they look fake. Like nothing in nature is that color green.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
put it
Yeah.
in the fruitcake and then I can't unravel it and all I can think of is like I would eat it if it didn't have the weird ugly colored fake fruit in it.
Now, did you
And
call
it's
it
just so
bunt?
sugary then. I can't do I love spice cake, but I can't do fruit cake.
Did you call it bunt at the very start of all this? Bunt?
No,
You?
no.
No. No. Okay. Maybe I misheard you. Sorry. Because bunt cake is a thing.
Yeah,
Um.
no, we have bun cake too. Spice
Oh.
cake,
Okay. Okay. You're talking about Christmas cake then, are you? Which is like
fruit cake. Do you
fruit
not?
cake. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fruit
where
cake.
it's like a spice cake, but
Yeah.
it's like a loaf, and
Yeah.
it's like almost like super dark brown, and it's all
Yeah.
different spices. But
Different
then here,
giant
like
cherries, green and red, and yeah.
green, whatever the fuck they are.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but like here, like you get like a jar, and it's like bright green, bright red, yellow. Like there's every color of like bits, and then you put that in the
Yeah.
fruit cake.
And you, okay, yeah. Okay, yes, 100% on board with you. We'll come back to that one. So, okay.
Then
So,
what's your third?
my number three top worst dessert is meringue. Now, meringue is not pavlova. I checked because I like pavlova.
You mean like
Pavlova,
meringue, like hard meringue,
yes.
like
Uh,
oh, here we
Pavlova is crisp on the outside but pillowy soft on the inside. Meringue is hard and dry the whole way through.
yes, yes, we don't call we call that meringue sometimes, but also those are called sham torts here.
Awesome. Sham torts. That that is finding a
And I
way into
know
my
exactly what you mean. It's like curls of like it's white and it's stiff and
yeah,
it's stiff, like you could take a machete and it would just like shatter. Yeah,
shatter.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. Sham
It's
torts.
really annoying. Yeah, you're trying
Yeah,
to eat it and there's just pieces everywhere.
yeah,
Like we here in Canada have lemon meringue pie all the time, right? Which is like the base crust and the lemon filling and then the meringue on top. And the meringue is very tall and it looks very nice.
yeah.
And then you try to cut into that and yeah, the meringue is just breaking everywhere and frankly, I'm just gonna sweep the meringue right off. The
Oh,
lemon
our
inside.
meringue is not like that here.
Yeah,
Not
no,
on
I'm
those
all
pies. Not on the pies.
yeah, no. I'm all over the lemon inside. Absolutely. The lemon, go to town on. But the meringue, oh, it's awful. And then I remember once I was actually just served meringues. That's it. That was the dessert. Just
Yeah,
meringues. Not
yeah,
anything with them, just meringues. So these
yeah,
things that you can hold in your hand, they
yeah,
start to melt in your hand, which is
yeah.
really annoying. They
Sham
get all
torts.
sticky.
Yeah.
And then you try and bite them, and they just and they break and they fly everywhere, and there's shards and it's sickly sweet. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like cotton candy, except it can hurt you because it's sharp,
And
and
your
it
teeth kind of get stuck in it, and
they get so stuck. Yeah, and then it's stuck on your hand, and I mean, I don't know, maybe fancy Wisconsin restaurants serve meringue and it's done in a delicate way, but there's no delicate way to eat a meringue. It's
no,
just
no. If you get a sham tort, it's knife and fork. You kind of saw your way around
yeah,
it.
but
Sometimes they
you can't
put fruit
because you
on
try
top.
and it breaks. It's like I'm gonna break off here for a second. It's like spaghetti. Okay, spaghetti is the worst thing to eat. I mean, I like pasta, don't get me wrong, but there are many, many other more efficient ways of delivering pasta than spaghetti. Because it's long and thin, you twirl it, stuff splatters everywhere, you try to eat it, and then you go, and it's all hanging out of your mouth, right? Why make spaghetti? Why does everyone love spaghetti? Pasta is great. Spaghetti sucks, and meringue is kind of the same because it's so difficult to eat, and well, and even worse because it tastes bad. But it's just sort of this thing. It's like this ornament that sits on top of the lemon cake. That's great. Yay! Take a picture. It looks beautiful. Now let me eat my lemon cake because the meringue sucks. Okay, I'm done.
PSA. No, I'm kidding. All right. my
You're
my
number two.
fourth, my fourth, or my yes, my second most worst
Second
dessert,
most hated dessert.
second hated dessert is, and this might feel sacrilegious to most Wisconsinites, but or Americans, is I despise pumpkin pie.
Oh, 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 oh. I'm sorry,
I will
Sarah. I'm not
not
sure what
eat
to do
it.
with that anymore.
I will not
Um,
eat it. I will not eat it. If the only choice is pumpkin pie, I will not have dessert. I have tried it multiple times in my 40 some years of life, and every time I'm like that was still disgusting. And I don't care if it's homemade out of the pumpkins you grew in your garden and you processed and made beautiful. I don't care if it's out of a can. I don't care if you add a ton of whipped cream or sugar. I do not like pumpkin pie. I don't like pumpkin spice lattes either. I don't, but like pumpkin pie. Nope, nope, nope. If it's not apple pie, then I'm not having pie at Thanksgiving. I'm not having pie at Christmas. No,
all
nope,
right. Well, okay.
no.
Okay. At least you like apple pie, so you don't have
Yeah,
to. You
I
don't. You
love
don't have
every
to
pie. I will
say
eat
no.
every single pie in this world, but pumpkin pie.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to differ with you on that one. Pumpkin pie would probably be my number one favorite. Maybe cheesecake. Maybe a pumpkin spice cheesecake. That would be like my favorite dessert ever. So I'm
The
gonna
next
have to
time I
differ with
see
you
you,
on
I'm
that
going
one.
to do a ginger snap vanilla cherry homemade cheesecake, and I will change your mind.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm down for that. Um, yeah, no, it's true. I was actually just at a party just a couple of days ago, and one lady talked about how pumpkin pie. She said, "Yeah, it looks like baby poo," so I just can't get past that.
I mean, I never went there. It was just the taste for me, but I can go there too.
Yeah, yeah, it does look like baby poo. I'll give you that. Um, hmm.
Like breastfed babies. You can go there. You can go there. So
Yeah.
many breastfed babies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I respect your choice. I completely and utterly disagree with it, but I respect your choice. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Wow.
Yours.
Okay. Number two. Yeah, for me, my number two worst, most hated dessert is actually another English delicacy because my wife is English and my parents are English, so I have like basically not been able to escape English cuisine my entire life. Um, and they make some really good like sausages and Yorkshire pudding and gravy and like dinners. The desserts, though, not so much. So number two is Christmas pudding, and this is a very English thing. It is.
Is that boozy, like bourbon
Yes,
and
yes,
use?
it is.
Mm.
It sort of becomes in like it's a sphere. It's a dark, meaty sphere, which is made of like fruit and God knows what else. And you often put like icing on the top. But yes, um, when Emma makes a Christmas pudding, she'll start 2 months prior. She'll mix it all together, and then every week she'll feed the pudding. She'll take a bottle of booze and pour it in, and it just soaks in. And then a week later, she'll pour some more in. And so I respect Christmas pudding in that it looks kind of cool. It's this sphere with icing on it, and it is so chock full of booze. How can you not have a good time at that? But unfortunately, then you have to try and eat it. And the texture, it's kind of like Eccles cakes, the fly cemetery that I told you about earlier. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that, except at least with an Eccles cake, I know that it's raisins. With the Christmas pudding, I have no idea what I'm actually eating here. But it's chopped up, and some of it is shiny, and it's kind of brown, and it's just like the texture is disgusting. It is disgusting. You talk about pumpkin pie being baby poop. Well, a Christmas pudding is like grown-up poop, formed into a sphere and with icing on it. Now, it's cool because when you serve Christmas pudding, I'll give it this. This is why it's not number one. This is why it's number two. Because when you serve it,
I
it's got
cannot
so
imagine. Okay, yep.
yeah, it's got so much booze in it that you actually take a lighter and you light it on fire, and there's like this blue flame that comes off it as you bring it to the table. It is literally on fire, and that's pretty cool. I'll give you that. But then again, you have to eat it. It's kind of like meringue. Looks nice, don't want it in my mouth. So, yeah, Christmas pudding. I'm glad Emma's not here because, and I hope she doesn't listen to this, but it is revolting. So anyway, Christmas pudding. A big part of my culture. Blah blah blah. Hate it. So that's it.
I'll remember this because I have a recipe for Christmas pudding because I want to recreate a Christmas pudding mold from Dickens' time,
Oh yeah.
and then actually make it.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll
It'll look
see, but it's
cool.
not that
It'll
long. It's like
burn.
it takes a half a day to make. So it must be a different recipe than what.
Well, no, the actual making of the pudding is half a day. You just have to make it 2 months in advance and then feed it alcohol every week.
I don't know.
So
I'll check. I feel like this recipe doesn't even have that.
okay, well then yeah, no, it's not the
It
real
must be
thing.
like a hack version.
Yeah,
So I'm
boozy.
noticing a trend though, like we're all about visuals and we're all about um like texture, which leads me
Yeah.
to
Oh
my
yeah.
number one, which we had discussed before. But
Yeah.
and this is not really like a traditional Christmas dessert, but it is a dessert and it's one I've run across my entire life. I hate flan.
Oh, are we at your number one now? Is this your number one?
It's
Your
my
number
number
one
one.
hated?
My number one. I can't do it. It's worse than pumpkin pie. I have been to South America and Central America numerous times in my life. I have
Mm,
very good friends in Brazil. And I remember going there and it was like early on, so like I thought I could still get by in Spanish in a Portuguese
mm,
speaking country, which I was not. That was not true. And after a couple weeks, I was like, got it. I got enough Portuguese. We're good. But like that first night,
mm.
my girlfriend's mom made a flan. And I remember thinking like, I fucking hate flan. And but I like have to eat it, right? I'm like a guest in their home and I'm not gonna be like, no, right? So like I get a piece and her dad has, I swear to God, like the kind of spoons you use for like serving people. He's
Uh-huh.
using that as his personal spoon. He's so excited with his flan, right? And he's and he's looking at me for like, the we can't speak each other's language, but at least we can appreciate this food
But you
moment,
love
right?
it.
And I
Yeah, yeah,
have to be like, I am a stranger in a strange land. I have had this 8 times in my life. Every time I hate it more. It's like raw scrambled eggs in my mouth. And it's awful and it tastes like nothing and maybe a little sugar, but that's it. Otherwise, it's just raw scrambled eggs in my mouth. And like, he's like, like, aren't we happy about this? And I'm like, I'm gonna puke a little bit in my mouth as I eat this, but I can't because your wife made it and I don't have Portuguese for gross. Like, and it just cemented in my life how much I hate it, and I still hate it. I will not. No, 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 no. I don't care. You cannot dress it up enough. You can't put it on flames. You can't do anything. It is raw scrambled eggs with a hint of vanilla, just rolling around in your mouth with not
wow.
even a crust to like cement it to
No.
chew. Just like just it's worse than fluff. At least
Yeah.
fluff has a flavor like this is lime, this is cherry, this is just raw eggs
Wow.
rolling in your mouth. Anyway,
I don't think I've ever had flan. I mean, I may have, but what you're
oh,
describing
you would
looks
remember because it looks solid. They hand you a chunk. It looks like cheesecake that's slightly jiggly, like
oh,
it's like Jello cheesecake, and you're like, this looks promising. And
mm,
then you start to eat it and you realize, hey, there's no crust. So I mean, what? And then it's just like raw scrambled eggs in your mouth with a hint of vanilla
how was that
rolling
again?
around in there.
Is that what it was?
What? Scrambled eggs.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay, well, add that to the list. Fluff and flan on my list. Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
what is yours? I cannot. After your description of Christmas pudding, I am dying to know.
Okay. Well, really, it's not shouldn't be a surprise because it's kind of already on your list. You called it fruit cake. I call it Christmas cake because in England, that's what they serve at Christmas is this fucking thing, which is disgusting. It's got, like you said, these big, giant red and green fruit of some kind. I'm thinking, but nothing natural in the world exists that looks like.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Um, and apparently there's sugar in there, but I think the sugar is there just to whack you out. You don't actually taste it, and it's I don't know what the other things are. That's what really scares me is I just don't know. And with British cuisine, you really can't be sure. They make things like blood pudding, right? And they're not
I
lying.
used to know about that. Is blood pudding full of blood? Because, like in Polish culture, kiszka is blood pudding, and it is
Yeah,
blood.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. And they're totally down with that. So what's in Christmas cake? I don't know. I think they call it Christmas cake because they don't want to tell you what they're actually giving you. You know, this is entrail cake. So we're just gonna feed it to you and put in some bright colored things so you think it's fun. But like, same thing. Like you know, my mom, she makes it, hate it. My wife makes it, hate it. My mother-in-law assured me, "Oh no, you haven't had my Christmas cake." All right, well, I'll be polite and I'll try some. Yeah,
What does it
pretty.
taste like?
It's hard to describe. Like sometimes it's boozy, but it's really Christmas pudding that's boozy. Christmas cake
Yeah.
might have a touch of booze in it, but it's just kind of it's not sweet and it's not fruity. It's just kind of this crap, and like it'll have the thick like sort of royal icing on the top, which looks nice, but to eat again it's kind of tasteless. It's just kind of sickly sweet, almost like meringue, and it's hard and it breaks, and
Oh, it's
uh,
dry.
what's that?
Is it dry?
The icing is dry. The cake might be dry, depends on who made it, right? So
Okay.
either it's dry and it's like this thing you gotta cough down, or it's not dry and then it's just squidgy, and then it's reminding me of raisins again. But it's not even raisins because I
Like
can't even I can't
almost
even
like
identify raisins in there. I don't know what this is, but I mean I remember we got married in England, Emma being English, and I guess wedding cakes in England are traditionally made of Christmas cake, fruit cake, and I just said hell no. I want to be able to eat my own wedding cake, so we are not having that. So in the end, we eventually compromised. The wedding cake was 3 layers, and the big one at the bottom was marble cake because I like
uh,
marble cake. So we had marble cake. The other two were fruit cake. Somehow those two survived. Nobody wanted to eat them, and so they made it back to Canada with us. We had them at our second reception in Canada, and because nobody wants to eat the fucking thing. So it's this perfect little ornament of food that you don't eat. It just looks nice, and so there it is. So
I
yeah,
think
Christmas
that's
cake.
a beautiful thing that in the end, no matter what our desserts are that we don't like, we have a universal, international dis despising of this weird fruit cake concoction
Yeah, yeah.
across,
Yeah.
oceans and generations that,
And I feel bad because it's part of my heritage, right? It's a big part of English
please,
Christmases.
I don't eat quiche and I'm extremely Polish.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not on board with it. No, not at all. Lots of other English food, love, but that, no, do not. So, yeah. So that's it. So anyway, we're through Christmas, and I somehow managed to survive without eating any. Um, the beauty is that my wife loves it, so she'll eat it all, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, the beauty is everything in this house I bake for the holidays and I don't bake any of this, so it never happens.
Yeah, it's nice to have that control. Yeah,
Yeah,
Emma,
it's
Emma can just get a spoon, one of those big serving spoons you talked about for the flan, and she can just chow down on the Christmas cake, and I will just take the eggnog and I'll just
okay, so well, remind me not to visit you guys in December then.
yeah, Yeah, we could offer you some pumpkin pie. Oh no, wait. Oh no.
Oh, wait. Bring some
No,
apple pie up.
yeah, apple pie is always good. Yeah, like I said, if you didn't like apple pie, you'd have to hand in your citizenship. I understand that, but
Yeah, no, I love apple pie. I love every pie. I like my husband actually used to love apple pie as his favorite pie, and then I started making raspberry pies,
yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, those might be my new favorite."
Mm.
So I make a lot
So,
of pie. I just
is this a thing? Do you guys do this in the States? Do you put your cheese on your apple pies? Is that a thing? I've heard of that.
some people do.
Yeah.
I am going to tell you a very funny thing that is something you can look up. Um, it is technically illegal to serve apple pie without cheddar cheese in the state of Wisconsin. It is a law. You can look it up. It's a state law.
Wow. All right. So y'all
Yeah.
take your apple pie and cheese seriously. Is
Yes.
there a word for
Yes.
that? Like if you put ice cream on it, it's a la mode.
No, to be yeah,
A la
Alamo.
mode.
No, to be honest, like people don't do it, but it is it's technically a state law. Like
Wow.
you can look it up, and it says it is illegal to serve apple pie without cheese.
Why?
Um,
Why is it that important? Hey, I'm not
Probably
judging
because
anybody.
some dairy lobby back in the day like made it part of like the state legislature and earmarked it through some like but it is a state law. Nobody follows it, but it is a state law in our state that you must serve cheese with your apple pie.
I'm.
I believe that means only in like restaurants, like establishments, like in your home, it's
Oh
not
yeah.
required, but like in a
Oh
but
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, no laws apply in your home. Yeah, you can
right,
do whatever.
but
Yeah.
I've had apple pie in many restaurants and they do not do this. But it
I,
is law.
I'm just
Like
trying to
some
imagine that.
legal guy could show up and like fine a restaurant technically
Yeah.
on that technicality.
I'm just trying to imagine that being a rider. Okay, here we have a new law on some tax breaks for businesses, and oh yeah, we're going to buy a couple of F-16s for the National Guard, and you cannot serve apple pie without cheese on it. So yeah, that tracks. I can
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to Wisconsin.
Cool, cool, awesome. Okay, wow. Woo.
But on
All
that
right,
note,
yeah. On that, I think when we next get together, cheesecake is what's on the menu. We all on
we
board
should
for that?
discuss our favorite cheesecakes.
Yeah, okay. That'll be the next one for sure. Favorite
Yeah.
cheesecake. Oof,
Yeah.
that'll be tough. That'll be tough.
I make a
But
lot of them. I can't wait.
awesome.
All
Cool.
right.
Okay, well, as
Great.
far as top 5 worst desserts ever, that is our show for today, everyone. Uh, Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our chats. And feel free to leave a review because it really does help us a lot. If anyone is looking for any help with aspects of dessert or writing, we recommend our friends at Cascadia Author Services. I've worked with them for years, and they are outstanding folks. And I know one of the editors lives in Nanaimo, which is a little city here on the west coast of Canada, where from whence comes the Nanaimo bar, which is a dessert you really should try. And anyway, you can find them at Cascadia Author Services. And you can find Sarah at sarahdahlman.com or on Instagram.
And you can find Ben at bennettrcoles.com as well as on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks again for joining us every day as we talk about our least favorite desserts. And please reach out if there's anything or any topics that you'd like us to cover. And we'll see you again when we next chat all about writing.
This has been All About Writing with Ben and Sarah.